Hello and welcome to my world of crochet. My name is Dina and today I'm here with you for another yarn talk video. And as always, we cannot talk yarn without me having my faithful mug of tea today here, which is a very classic black tea with a flavor of forest fruit. And today's mug not of coffee, but it could have been coffee. Well, it couldn't because I don't actually drink coffee at all, just fun fact. But today's mug of tea is actually nicely sponsored by Tracy and Taylor. So thank you so much. You both know who you are. You were so kind to send me a couple of super thanks. So this tea is definitely on you, and probably a few more teas to come. So so much thank you for that. And of course, that indicates the fact that I managed the first goal of getting my channel monetized. So that's absolutely awesome. So super thanks, woohoo, super thanks has been enabled on all of my videos. You can find them just here down below. You might have an icon saying super thanks, or you might have to click on the three dots and then you get the super thanks option. Should you feel like thanking me for my content, regardless what type of content that may be. But of course, I'm not fully in the sense of monetized by YouTube yet. I am still missing 260 some odd subscribers to actually unlock the ad revenue from the ads being played on my videos. And it doesn't really matter which of the videos right now, all the ads YouTubes are playing on my videos, that ad revenue goes straight into YouTube's pockets, and I don't get a cut of that. So that would be really nice if you would share my video, and if you would encourage your friends to give me a subscribe, because that really does help me. So if you haven't done it yet, do please subscribe, because as I said, that really does help me onwards here. And obviously all this revenue does help me improve the channel and help me do more yarn hauls, do more giveaways, do more tutorials, etc. On that accord, let's start talking about some yarn, because that's really why you're here, isn't it? And I have four projects we are going to talk about today, where the one is actually already finished. So that was a really nice and quick project. And I made some scrunchies out of some scrap yarn. Here we have them. Very simple scrunchies made of some scrap yarn. I made 2 of them. And of course, so I didn't make them just for nothing. I had some scrap yarn laying around from the lovies I made not so long ago. So if you follow me regularly, you would definitely have seen these lovely lovies. And I had some scrap yarn of it, and actually I could probably even make one more if I wanted to, or 2, before that scrap yarn would have been used up. I might end up doing that because I'm not really sure right now what to use it for regardless. So that's just like a thing that's flowing in my mind of maybe doing that. But another reason for making this is actually that on Friday I have a tutorial coming up on exactly these scrunchies. And you don't necessarily need to use this yarn. You could use any sort of scrap yarn that you have laying around that you would like to get used. Of course, if it's a soft yarn, that's a bonus. This is a velvet type of yarn. You could also theoretically use an acrylic or a woolen or whatever, but of course be aware whatever texture that yarn has, sunlight feeling is obviously will also sort of affect the end result that you have here. So this is the more velvet type where that has a little shine to it. So of course it's a little bit about the yarn's capabilities as well, but generally you can use any type, and it's a very simple, straightforward tutorial. It doesn't require really much of you. It requires you to be able to do a slip knot. It requires for you to be able to do single crochets, a single slip stitch, and some double crochets, or treble if you should option for that. These are made in doubles. If I had made them in trebles, this on top here would have been a bit more longer. That's kind of the difference. So it depends on how wavy or fringy you want them. But I have a full tutorial coming up on these guys on Friday. So that's not like it's not a long video. It's just like, I don't know, I think 10 minutes or something like that. But there's a full description on how I'm making these for those that's interested. And these are great opportunities if you just need some quick small present for a friend, or an add-on for Christmas if you know somebody who has longer hair that uses scrunchies, etc. Super great option, but it could also be a great small option if you do markets like crafting markets and so on. I heard these are quick, like, good sellers, and they're really quick to make and very, very affordable and cheap and simple. So warm recommend should you need some item to do that. So that's for Friday. So of course, and Thursday we have a giveaway coming up. It's a blue inspired giveaway, and it has 2 different kinds of cake yarns, and it has some acrylics. Look forward for that one. But we are also working on my Leafy Shawl, and it is getting very close to being finished. So I've really made some effort the past week here. And for those who's noticed, of course, this is made in the same yarn, except it's a different color. This is a Hobbii twister I have here. It's a poncho. That would be the tip of it. And this is the happiness poncho that I made a tutorial for last spring. I think I posted it. And I will link to that tutorial. If I'm good, I will have it in the note here upstairs. Here on top, I will have linked it. But at the end of this video, there will definitely be a link to this tutorial should you want to make yours. It's a very simple, straightforward poncho to make of the Hobbii twister. But yeah, so this is the Leafy Shawl and how it's progressing. It's pretty, really, really pretty, I think. It does need some blocking to really show out the full gradient here. And I really don't have much left to do. So you have the center. I'll probably need to block it in 2 times. I will have to see if I have enough blocking mats for it. Maybe it's not so bad. I don't know. We'll see. But this is how much I have left of the cake. This was a full Hobbii twister cake when I started. Isn't that crazy? So I have like 38 grams left. So I probably can do about, I need to calculate 2 or 3 more rounds or repeats before I can do the finish. I need to see exactly how far I have to do before the last round to make sure I have enough yarn. But that's pretty much it. I have about 4 rounds left at top. 4 rounds and I'm done. That's the max I can get out of this game. And then I hope to be able to record the last bits of how to finalize this. And then I need to get it blocked, and then the tutorial is more or less ready to go. So yeah, it looks like I will meet my deadline, which is going to be around Christmas for the post of this. I think it's gorgeous, very gorgeous. A really, really lovely colors. And it would also make great for like, just like a shawl like that, right? And it stands me really well, the colors. And it's also like, I'm really, really happy with this. I am genuinely happy. Happy and satisfied. I need to make sure I get it tangled into all this yarn. So the progress is doing really well, and I am on schedule. I might actually need to start looking for a new project, a new tutorial project for when I'm done with this. But that's gonna be for a little bit out in the future. Not right now, but yeah. So new projects planned. And I'm using a 3.5mm crochet hook for that project, for those that's interested. And the cake was a Hobbii twister. And the Hobbii twisters are 250 grams, so I believe that's like 8.8 ounces or something like that, to 1,000 meters of yarn, which is 1,093 yards. Fine weight yarn. It's becoming really, really gorgeous. You could also use the Scapia Swirl or Yarn Arts, Flowers, Rose Garden, Hobbii Sultan Deluxe. Plenty of different pleated cakes would probably also be really good for this. If you use a bit of a thicker yarn, you probably will experience fewer repeats until you get to the same size, simply because they will work up bigger. The bigger the yarn, the bigger the project if you do the same amount of rounds, but I should not need to teach you that. Or maybe I should, I don't know. But anyhow, I'm really looking forward for that to be complete. Mainly because then I have an extra shawl. That's always nice. So yeah. I am also working on my unicorn, and I have a problem. Well, it's not a big problem. It's actually a really good excuse to order some more yarn. I spoke with Amanda. I've heard this from a Scraptastic crocheter. Absolutely wonderful woman. But as we both agree, there is always a good excuse to buy some more yarn. So right now I am working on the mane and tail on the unicorn. And as I was doing that, I've unfortunately come to the conclusion that it looks like I will not have enough yarn to make it, to finish it. What's sad? So I had to order some yarn, right? I had to order some more cotton yarn. So this is a skein I'm currently working on for the mane and tail. And I weighed up the skein. I weighed up this bit, which is a part of the mane. And I came to the conclusion I'm probably going to be like 10 grams short, roughly. So I ordered some yarn, and since I knew that I had of this skein as much as about half this from start, I had to get two. So I had to get a new one of these and a new one of this. Luckily, they are on sale at the moment at Hobbii. But I don't just buy 2 skeins of yarn from Hobbii and think that's all right and that's it. I would, of course, if I were at a location very close to Hobbii, then I would just pop in and get those 2 skeins. But I'm not. Not saying that I'm far away compared to some of you guys, because I could probably drive to the closest Hobbii in like 7 hours. But it's not like I'm going to drive 7 hours just to go to a yarn store. I would be declared absolutely raving crazy mad. And I didn't manage to visit the one next to my parents' place when I was there this summer. I would have loved to. Originally, actually, there was a bit of an idea to do so, but it just didn't happen. But, and that's about an hour from my parents. 45 minutes, maybe an hour, something like that. Not too far of drive, but yeah, I had other things I also needed to spend my time on. But, so I had to get some yarn. That yarn is currently in order, waiting on being packed. I ordered it last night. Yeah, so that's the only reason it's not completely finished. And also because this, the mane and tail, is basically, how I'm doing it is basically one long chain, and then you work in 3 double crochets in each stitch, and eventually that will curl up on you. It's not, yeah, it will curl, and that's basically how these curls are made, and they are right now on a string, I would say. Let's see. So they're right now like a string of curls. And the next curl here will be worked up to be a part of the string. And I will need, this is just like the first few of the mane. I will probably need like another 5 or 7 to do it. But I did sew the rest of the unicorn together. So right now I'm not really sure what it looked like, but it definitely needs a mane and a tail. So this is where we are right now. Haha. It's starting to look like something. I still need to embroider mouth and nose and eyebrows. That will really make it cuter. And then what you can imagine is maybe some mane coming up. So now it starts to look a bit more like something. And by the look, I need a bit more mane to make sure we have plenty of mane. And therefore another reason for me to get some extra yarn. And I need, of course, to make a tail. And then we are getting there. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it should be high enough to do it like that. Could be. Still kind of cute. Does really help on it, doesn't it? So yeah. And you can see that I ended up using the little bit more darker version. And as I do this, you can actually get the feeling of the gold sparkles here. So I think that's pretty okay. I'm pretty content with how this one turned out. What I will do until I get the other cotton yarn is probably I will crochet the body parts, etc. for this and get most of the filling done because I am having more time until these needs to be done. So these needs to be done for Christmas. That's a bit less than 6 weeks. 6 weeks. In 6 weeks, these have been unpacked and hopefully received with pleasure and happiness. That would be great. Yeah, I need them done in 6 weeks. And in a few weeks' time, I am going for a small week to Luxembourg to an event I do every year. I won't have much time to crochet there. And when I do have time to crochet, I need something simple. So what I might do is basically bring this, like not necessarily, I hope I have finished a bit more, but I also need to make one in blue, right? So I might just bring the main and tail project because the skeins are super small to bring and it is something that I can mindlessly do. So I might actually end up doing that. And for this, I actually used, so this is the Hobbii Rainbow 8-4 quality. So that's the thinnest cotton they have in the rainbow colors. I'm using a 2.5mm crochet hook for this. And actually I've been using one of the crochet hooks that I got from K.A.M.E. And I'm actually enjoying it a bit. So I will make a review for these hooks as well when I have some time. So you can get an idea. These are like, it's a very small crochet hook set. So they are really good for lace weight crocheting. And of course, then they had to have them at 2.5mm hook. Pink is probably not the easiest to work with pink, but it's going to be fine with the blue. But it works fine for what I need. And I'm probably going to do, like, I make sure this part is finished and the main tail I'll bring with me, and I just need to sew it on, and then I'll have like a week when I get home. That should easily be done and doable. And I still have like, I have to give them away on like the 24th of December because we in Denmark celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve. And they stand, like, they do actually stand. Look, it does stand. I think it's cute. It still has a little bit the feeling of cat ears. I think it's gonna help when it gets its mane. I think for future editions, I might personally want to add a little bit more length here. So I single like a few extra crochet stitches just here on the neck to help like make it more natural. But at the same place, you know, it is an amigurumi, so you are allowed to have a little bit of creative mind and imagination seeing them. But yeah, I'm still pretty pleased with how this one is progressing. So yeah, the last thing that I started on, and I started on it this weekend, is my Christmas shawl. And my Christmas shawl is, yeah, I need it for that event that I'm going to in December. Which means that the unicorns is a bit less of a priority because they have a later deadline. And I need to have this shawl finished, and I'm having the Leafy Shawl that I also need to get finished and blocked. And ideally this shawl, I did read it and it does say blocking recommended, so I need to block it. And I can also see it how I'm working it out right now. It definitely needs blocking. It's sort of filet stitch pattern. And so far I've used chains, double crochets and single treble crochet every so few rows. The yarn I'm using, you saw me unbox Friday from my Hobbii yarn haul, And it's this gorgeous Christmas Universe yarn from Hobbii. And it's a colorway 24. And yeah, so Universe a Christmas. It's made in Turkey, produced for Hobbii, and it's a premium acrylic. And it's 98% acrylic, 2% polyester. So the polyester is these speckles you have the glitters going through. It's a 100-gram cake. I have 2 of them. This is how much I've worked on the first one. And they are 3.5 ounces each. So that's 100 grams. For those 100 grams, I get 462 meters, there it was, which gives you 505 yards. It's a fine weight yarn. It actually says super fine. It's a little bit roving style, so I have the feeling it switches a little bit between a 1 and a 2 weight, but it is a thin yarn. So yeah, it's definitely, I don't know, I think sometimes I feel it's a bit thinner than the twist and sometimes I don't. Actually right now, yeah, it's pretty comparable. So it's maybe closer to a 2 weight. Thick one, if any. If it's a 1 weight, it's definitely a thick 1 weight. They recommend a 3.5mm crochet hook, so that is what I am using for it. It can be washed at 30 degrees. Don't iron, don't bleach, don't tumble dry, lay flat to dry, and can be dry cleaned. And when I'm like feeling it right here, it feels like a really nice soft yarn. Right now, when I'm working it up, it feels a little bit more coarse. Might help with a wash. This is my first time working with these Hobbii Universe yarns. And it could also just be the speckles. And so what I also experience is that sometimes the glitter thread seems to break on the strands. First I thought it was my tension, that I might have to hold it too tight and therefore it ripped too much against my fingers and therefore I broke it myself. Then I tried holding my yarn differently, and then I noticed it was basically sometimes came apart when it came out of the skein. I don't know if that's just me having a bad skein or if it's a tendency it has. But yeah, more importantly, you want to know how it looks like. And it is not a shawl, it's a scarf. So it's a rectangular long piece. And I need 2 skeins for this. And once these 2 skeins are finished, then this one should be finished and nice and long. This is a pattern I also found on the Hobbii website. It's named Aikor. Aikor is a fancy word apparently for Christmas trees. And that's because that the pattern you can see in here kind of looks a bit like Christmas trees, right? It looks like a tree. And the only thing you can missing in the repeating is here the white. You can see it slowly working into its white, its gradient. And it will keep changing its gradient colors throughout the shawl or scarf. And it definitely needs blocking because right now it's first really showing its true nature when I pull a little bit in it. I do believe it's a 5-row repeating pattern, maybe. I am now at the stage where I need to repeat again, which means that here I need to work in the treble crochet, which is the only treble crochet I make. And so I have 1 row where I'll work in 1, 2, 6 treble crochets basically, and everything else except for those 6 treble crochets every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds is 5 or 6 rounds. 6 rounds maybe. That's only treble crochets. Except for that, it's only double crochets and chain stitches. Super simple. It's just, yeah, it becomes really nice, I have to say. So I'm really looking forward for wrapping up this, but I need this to be finished in 3 weeks time. And I'm not the quickest crocheter because I have so many other things I need to do. Like, you know, work. That's one of the things. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to do this. And this is definitely something I have to prioritize a bit, because I need to make sure that I have it done and finished and ready to bring, because we have to, at that event, one of the days, which is likely going to be on the Friday, we have to wear a Christmas stuff outfit. And I don't have any Christmas clothing at all, actually. And the only ones I have is this Christmas hat, Santa hats kind of thing. And they're all at my parents' place. So I don't have anything here related to Christmas that I can physically wear. So I thought, hey, it's a great excuse to use the Hobbii yarns, the Universe, for the first time. They were on sale when I bought them. I only paid like six euros per skein for these. So that would be 12 euros and some effort and labor of love. And I would have this gorgeous shawl that I could also use for Christmas, and that I would have for I don't know how long time out in the future. And it's a really simple project to make. It's a paid pattern, so it's a Hobbii Plus pattern. If you have Hobbii Plus membership, it's free as part of your 3 free Hobbii Plus pattern downloads a month. Or it's, I think it was like 3.5 euros purchase pattern if you wanted to purchase it. It's a very simple pattern. It looks amazing. This really looks cool. I really enjoy the look, and it looks intimidating. And I can tell you, it's not bad. It's quite simple. So I can warmly recommend the pattern, and I'm probably gonna use it for another scarf, not Christmas minded, with a different yarn out time in the future, because I have an idea of what could work nice with it. But you will see that one later, probably next year. I think that was pretty much it for now. Thank you so much for watching, if you're still watching this one to the end. Thank you again to Tracy and Taylor for supporting me, and definitely for the mug of tea. And I'm looking forward to continue my travels towards the 1,000 subscribers. And of course, we will have a nice little party when that happens. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So until I see you again, I will be back next week, Monday, with a new Yarn Talk video. On Thursday, we have a new giveaway coming up. And on Friday, of course, we have the tutorial that I mentioned in the very beginning of this video of these lovely scrunchies. So yeah, take care until I see you again, and have a great day and have a great week. Goodbye.